Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Al-Fatihah. pada madinatuna wal akhirah ila hadrat Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nawaitu ta'allum wa ta'lim wa tadhakkur wa tadhkir wa nafa' wal intifa' wal ifadah wal istifadah wal hatta ala tamassuki bi kitabillahi wa sunnati rasulih wa du'a ila al-huda wa dalalata 'ala al-khair wa ibtigha' wajhillahi wa mardatihi wa qurbihi wa thawabihi. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. So we continue with our daras Kitab Risalatul Jami'ah by Habib Ahmad bin Zain al-Habshi. So we have arrived at chapter of Hajj and we have covered almost the arkan and the wajibat, and now we are at Sunnah of Hajj, Sunanul Hajj, the Sunnah of Hajj. So from the matan it states, wa amma sunanu fa kullu ma siwal arkani wal wajibat. So the sunan is the jama' of sunnah, the plural of sunnah. So the sunnah of Hajj, the sunnah of Hajj includes all acts which should be done but which are not included among the arkan or the wajibat. So sunnah are the acts in Hajj and Umrah that are not considered arkan or wajibat, but is recommended to do. So sunan or supererogatory recommended, the recommended acts of Hajj and Umrah are plenty. There are numerous. There are plenty of Hajj. The sunnah. It's like some ulama have, some scholars have in their books have like 100 and more than 100 of sunnah that you can do while doing your Hajj and Umrah. Especially Hajj, there are a lot of sunnah. So we will mention like the basics, because to get all the sunnah, then you will have to go through the Umrah and Hajj class. Specifically when you want to do the sunnah, you want to do the Hajj and sunnah. That's why when you want to go for Hajj and sunnah, there are specific classes that you have to go through, because these are the things like Hajj and Umrah, especially Hajj, like you do maybe once in your lifetime, once or twice, if you're lucky, twice or more. But if you're lucky enough, once in your lifetime. So of course there are many foreign things that we are not aware of. So you have to go to a specific class that will train you and make you aware of the sunnah that are available and recommended during your Hajj and Umrah. So for this book, it's very light, and they just go on the service. So Ahmad he didn't actually even state the sunan of Hajj. He just said that the sunnah are those acts that are other than arkan and wajibat. That means it is recommended. There are the sunnah are all recommended, and they are done to get the maximum rewards during your Hajj and Umrah. But leaving them does not affect the validity of one's Hajj or Umrah. So if anybody want to do the Hajj and Umrah just going for the basics, like just doing the arkan and wajibat, it will be valid. There's nobody can say that you have your Hajj is not, or your Umrah is not valid. It is valid. However, you won't get the full rewards. And leaving them, any sunnah, even muakkadah is like the highly recommended sunnah, but they are not wajib. Leaving them also does not lead to any penalty or dam. In any case, any sunnah is not does not lead to any penalty, and does not affect your validity of Hajj or Umrah, unless they are vowed. These sunnahs, if they are vowed, then it becomes wajib. Then that's a different story. Then you have to do it. If you don't do the whatever you have vowed for, then there will be implications, and some penalties will be implemented. So we just go through a bit. The main, the like one of the sunnah that is like always we always hear the is a talbiyah. Talbiyah is a devotional prayer uttered by pilgrims during their Hajj or Umrah after making the intention to enter into the state of ihram. It is recited frequently throughout the pilgrimage. So throughout your Hajj and Umrah, but there is a stop point. We will mention that later. So once you have entered into ihram, that means you have made your intention and you have entered into ihram from the miqat, then it is sunnah, and this is very recommended, highly recommended to utter to recite this talbiyah. It is like labbaik Allahumma labbaik la sharika lak labbaik innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. So the meaning is, at your service Allah, at your service, at your service, you have no partner, at your service. Truly all praise, favor and sovereignty is yours. You have no partner. So this is it is warid from Rasulullah SAW. He said this during his Hajj. So of course it will be sunnah for us. But it's not wajib to say this talbiyah, but it's highly recommended. And you will find like almost everyone will be saying it. And it's encouraged to say it out aloud, but then not to disturb others. If like you see people praying, you don't say this out too loud. So you can say it aloud and also to yourself. Both are sunnah, but it's encouraged to say it aloud, especially once after the talbiyah and when you're on your way from the miqat to the haram, and you will see everybody in the plane, in the bus especially, they will be saying this talbiyah. And it's encouraged to be recited as much as possible throughout your Hajj and Umrah in any condition, be it standing, sitting, walking, lying down, traveling in a vehicle, laying down in a state of minor or major impurity, it doesn't matter, or even using menstruation, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have wudu, or you don't have to be tahir from your major impurity, hadath kabir, hadath akbar. You don't have to be clean from that to say this talbiyah. In any situation, you can say the talbiyah, even during the haram timing. Timing that haram to pray. But then in Masjid Haram, there's no such timing. That means any time is you can pray anytime. There's no haram timing for the specialty of Masjid Haram. So yeah, and it's highly recommended. It's highly recommended to be recited before and after prayers, especially after prayers and Jama'ah prayers. When you meet for Jama'ah and after the Jama'ah prayers, even before your once you give salam and before you do your aurat, aurat after prayers, like subhanallah, 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 and whatever aurat you have, this is highly recommended to be recited before the aurat. And when changing conditions, such as changing of timing, like from day coming to night, it means like Maghrib timing or Fajr timing, the times are changing, or when it's raining, rain comes, or traveling, when boarding or disembarking from a vehicle, and when encountering a group of other pilgrims. So these are highly recommended timings where you can say the talbiyah. Other than that, you can say talbiyah is sunnah, all the way is sunnah. Then for Hajj, the timing for talbiyah, the sunnah comes in before. Is if like you're not doing any ihram, then the talbiyah will be, is not considered sunnah, but is considered as dhikr. And dhikr, you still get rewards for it. Uh, but once you uh, get into enter ihram for Hajj or Umrah, then it becomes sunnah. The sunnah timing for Hajj, for the talbiyah, is after ihram. Once you enter ihram, until you meet your first reason for the first tahallul awal. Because for Hajj there are two tahallul, right? Tahallul awal and tahallul thani. Uh, the first one will be either stoning of Jamrah al-Aqabah, or shortening of the hair, al-halaq, and or tawaf al-ifadah. So whichever comes first, depends on how you do your Hajj, how you navigate your Hajj. So this can, either one of these can comes first, and you can get your you can get your tahallul if you have done uh, two out of three of the tahallul. The reasons for tahallul. So once you have met the conditions to have your first tahallul, then your ihram, your talbiyah will stop. I mean, there's no more sunnah to say the talbiyah. But if you still say your talbiyah, it's considered as a wirid, so there's nothing wrong. It's not makruh, but it becomes mubah. It's no longer sunnah. And then for umrah, same. The timing of the talbiyah will enter after ihram. Once you ihram for your umrah, then it will be sunnah until before the start of tawaf. Because for umrah there's only one tawaf. Tawaf umrah, or tawaf ifadah, or tawaf, and it also can be inserted into the tawaf al-qudum. So once you start your tawaf, then before you start your tawaf, the talbiyah ends, and the timing for the sunnah ends. But after that, you still can say, but there's no longer sunnah. Then it is recommended to repeat the talbiyah 3 times or more, then followed by sending prayers to the Prophet SAW, do salawat, then asking for paradise and victory from the hellfire, like apa, Allahumma ajinna minan nar, and Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-jannah wa radha, Allahumma inna nas'aluka radhaka al-jannah wa na'udzubika min sakhatika wan nar. This kind of doa is sunnah to be said after the talbiyah 3 times or more. Normally they do 3 times, followed by the salawat to the Rasul sallam, and then doa something like Allahumma inna nas'aluka ridhaka wal jannah wa na'udzubika min sakhatika wan nar. Then followed by whatever supplications you want. This is the sunnah. But just saying the talbiyah itself is already sunnah. You get the sunnah already. But the full sunnah, to get the full reward, is the talbiyah 3 times, then followed by the salawat, and followed by dua for paradise and victory from the hellfire, and followed by whatever supplications, whatever dua you want. And it is not, the talbiyah is not recommended to be recited during tawaf or sa'i. When you tawaf or sa'i, there's no specific sunnah recital. So you can do whatever you want to zikir, subhanallah or alhamdulillah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar, or you want to read Quran, or you want to dua, you can do whatever you want. Or you just want to keep quiet and meditate, tafakkur. It's up to you. This is more of a physical ibadah, not much of a recital one. So, but it's not recommended. I mean, it's not sunnah to say the talbiyah during your tawaf or sa'i, either in umrah or Hajj. Both not recommended. So you can say something else some other dua. The best is just dua during your tawaf and sa'i. And there are some ulama who have recommended some dua in tawaf and sa'i. You can follow that as well, but it's not from the warid. It's not warid dua from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then second sunnah we can go into is entering Mecca in the daytime. So it's sunnah to enter Mecca in the daytime, walking barefooted, and make the ghusl sunnah before entering Mecca. So this is recommended. But of course, if you are from a foreign country, then you can't really choose what time you enter Mecca, because you will have to take flight in, and then the flight timing is fixed, so you don't have much choice. But if you have a choice, then it's sunnah to enter Mecca in daytime. So normally you will land in Jeddah, and from Jeddah to Mecca will take another about 3 hours ride by land. By plane, you can also, there's a plane I think into Mecca airport, but normally people will go into Jeddah, the bigger airport. And sunnah to walk into Mecca. These are all recommended, but for now it's quite hard to implement all this. But if you want to implement, it's sunnah. And to make ghusl before entering Mecca, this is possible. You make your ghusl in the airport maybe before entering Mecca and before entering Haram. So all these are sunnah. Then the next sunnah will be entering Masjidil Haram from Babus Salam. This is sunnah because Rasulullah SAW, when he did his Hajj, he entered from Babus Salam. So there are many doors in the Masjidil Haram, plenty of doors. So it's sunnah to enter from Babus Salam. And reciting dua at the first glance of the Kaabah. There is a warid dua, I think. Yeah. Once you enter from Babus Salam, then you walk up and you will see the Kaabah. Once you have a glimpse of the Kaabah, stop and say the dua. There is a specific dua for that. Then after that, you proceed into the mataf, the tawaf area, and then you start your tawaf or whatever. If Umrah, you start off with your tawaf, then sa'i. If your Hajj, normally you enter for Umrah first. If you for Hajj, then it depends on what's your navigation, because it depends on tamattu or ifrat or kiran. Then a highly recommended sunnah also is tawaf al-qudum. Tawaf al-qudum, this is the tawaf of like is opening tawaf. It's like you just arrived and it's the first thing you do to pay respect to the Kaabah. So you do a tawaf al-qudum, like the first what is that, arrival, tawaf of arrival. Then when first entering the haram, the first time you enter, after that you can continue with your Umrah and Hajj. But then if you are doing Umrah, then your tawaf al-qudum will be your tawaf Umrah. So it's the same. It's one thing. But other madhabs, they say it's different, and they say it's wajib. Some other madhab say it's wajib. So but madhab Shafi'i is sunnah. Tawaf al-qudum is sunnah. So for Umrah pilgrims, you do tawaf, Umrah tawaf. Once you do your Umrah tawaf, this will suffice. This will tawaf al-qudum will be in your tawaf for Umrah. So you just have one. You just have to do one tawaf. But if you want to separate, also can. You do your tawaf qudum first, then you do your tawaf for Umrah. That's also possible. Then for Hajj pilgrims, the time for it will end. The time for Tawaf Qudum enters when you enter Makkah. Then the time for it will end by doing wukuf. Wukuf at Arafah. Then there's no more Tawaf Qudum. If you have done whatever you have done during your Hajj, start of Hajj from the Ihram, and once you wukuf, then that means your Tawaf Al-Qudum is omitted. There's no more. It's forfeited. No more Tawaf Al-Qudum. But it doesn't affect your the validity of your Hajj. It will still be valid, but you won't get your Sunnah for Tawaf Al-Qudum. So once you do your wukuf, you cannot go back and after that you want to do your Tawaf Al-Qudum. Cannot. It's already over. So for non-pilgrims, because Tawaf Al-Qudum is Sunnah even for non-pilgrims. Whoever enter Haram, then it's Sunnah for them to do a Tawaf Al-Qudum. This is like to respect the sacred place, the Haram, and of course the Kaabah. So even for non-pilgrims, if you come to Makkah, it's Sunnah to do Tawaf Al-Qudum. So even if you are a resident of Makkah and you are staying within the Haram area, so let's say you travel to Jeddah, which is out of the Haram area already. So you travel there for business or visiting or do whatever. Then you come back. You come back. It's Sunnah for you to do a Tawaf Al-Qudum. You don't have to wear the Ihram and you don't need to enter Ihram because you are not doing Hajj or Umrah. But it's still Sunnah for you to do the Tawaf Al-Qudum. So for non-pilgrims, the time ends by leaving Haram. So let's say you enter Haram not for the purpose of Hajj or Umrah, just for business or just for sightseeing, which is anyway if you enter Haram without the intention of Umrah or Hajj, then it's makruh. If you're a foreigner, if you're staying inside, then you're staying within the Haram area, then it's a different story. But if you are a foreigner, then it's Sunnah. If you enter, even for purpose of business, it's Sunnah for you to at least to make intention for Umrah first. That means you enter for Umrah, then you do your business. Then it is also Sunnah to do a lot of Tawaf Sunnah at any time, day or night. You can do Tawaf Sunnah is unlimited. You can do many times. Unlike Sa'i, there's no Sa'i Sunnah. So Sa'i must always be preceded by a Tawaf. But Tawaf, there's no need for even an Ihram. So that means you can do your Tawaf without being in Ihram, without doing Umrah or without doing Hajj. You can do just the Tawaf. And when you're in Hajj or Umrah, you can do Tawaf as many times as you want. Tawaf Sunnah. It's Sunnah to do 7 times. And you can break it apart. That means you can do one round. One round of the Tawaf first. Then after Zuhur, you do one more round. Then after Asar, you do 3 more rounds. Then until after Maghrib, you do 3 more rounds. After Isha, do complete everything. That is also possible. You can break it apart. And for foreigners, it's many ulama says that it is better for you to do tawaf than do plenty of prayers. For residents of Makkah, then it's better for you to do prayer, salat sunat, then do many tawaf. So you just do your tawaf maybe once or twice, then the rest you do plenty of sunnah prayer. But for the foreigners, it's better for you to do tawaf sunnah than do plenty of sunnah prayers. But whatever suits you. If you feel like doing prayer, then it doesn't mean that it's not good. It's still good because the rewards for praying in the Masjidil Haram is like 100,000 times So it's really good. Then the next sunnah, we can mention spending the night in Mina on the night of Arafah. This is also sunnah. So once you have made your ihram, then normally the Hajj will start. They really start on the 8th or 9th. Then people will start to get into ihram. Then they will go to Mina to spend the night. This is sunnah. Spend the night there, and then the next morning they go to Arafah. So it is sunnah to perform the tawaf wada. This many people miss this. Many will miss this because they didn't realize that when they are going, most of them will be in Mecca already in Mecca in their hotel rooms or whatever in their residence. Then they will move on the 9th. They will move to Mina to spend the night. Many people will do this sunnah to spend the night in Mina before they go to Arafah. But the thing they forget is once they are moving to Mina, they are leaving Mecca. You are leaving Haram. So once you are leaving Haram, it is sunnah to perform Tawaf al-Wada, the farewell Tawaf, because you are leaving Haram. You are leaving the Kaabah. So before proceeding to Mina, you do your Tawaf Wada. This is sunnah. Then you proceed to Mina. Proceed to Mina in the daytime and perform the 5 prayers there. So try to get 5 prayers there. So normally people will do like maybe 10 a.m. or 8 a.m. They start moving to Mina and catch their Zuhur there. Zuhur, Asar, Maghrib, Isha, then Fajr. Then they will, after Fajr, they will leave for Arafah. So they will get 5 prayers there. So there is sunnah also to get 5 prayers there. And Jama' Rasulullah SAW, Jama' combine the prayers of Zuhur and Asar and Maghrib and Isha. Then Fajr, of course you cannot Jama'. Then after Fajr, you will leave. So that is another sunnah. So the first is do Tawaf Wada before you come to Mina. Then you proceed to Mina to get the 5 prayers of, that's another sunnah, to get the 5 fardu prayers in Mina. Then the third sunnah will be you Jama' the prayers. You combine. Although some ulama don't allow this, and some most will allow, because this is done by Rasulullah SAW. And there's many narrations. I think there are narrations that Rasulullah SAW did his Jama' prayers for Zuhur and Asar and Maghrib and Isha during Hajj. So it becomes sunnah for us. Although we are considered, most likely we are considered residents there already, because you'll be in the haram for many days, then you are no longer musafir, so you cannot jama'. But then for this case, you can jama'. But you can also be a musafir because you are from, if you stay less than 3 days and all, you have to refer to the timing, how many days you're staying. So Jama' Zuhur and Asar and Maghrib and Isha, then Fajr. Then you make ghusl for every prayer. Every fardu prayer, make ghusl. This is a bit tough for, especially during Hajj. There will be like plenty of people, millions of people in Mina. And there will be many toilets, but you'll have to queue. And if you want to wait and you want to make ghusl for every fardu, but in this case you are combining, so you just have to make 3 ghusls. This is already hard enough, because the toilets will be jam-packed and there'll be a long queue, and people are knocking on your doors to ask you to get out because they want to enter. So then after that, pray all the 5 fardu prayers, even jama' in. If they don't do jama', then you do yourself. You jama'. Some of them won't jama'. But pray the 5 prayers at Masjid Al-Khayf. This is located in Mina. This Masjid Al-Khayf is located in Mina. So it's sunnah to go there and pray the fardu prayers and listen to the sermon, to the khutbah. It's also sunnah to listen to the khutbah. It is here that the Prophet ﷺ and 70 other prophets before him had performed salah. So this is a very like special landmark. Then after Fajr, start moving towards Arafah. So they will pray Fajr led by an imam, and normally it's a very big jama'ah. It's a very if you cannot catch the jama'ah, then you have to do your own jama'ah. But normally the jama'ah will be so long that it's outside the masjid and it will continuous. It will be continuous. So you just join the jama'ah, and once after the prayers, after the salam, they will start moving. Everybody will move to Arafah. Then millions of people will be going towards Arafah. So yeah, actually you just follow the flow. But yeah, you can take, there will be bus and trains and whatever according to your, depends of your on your package and what's your tour agency have planned. But you can also walk, and if you want to walk from Mina to Arafah will be maybe about easily 10 to 15 kilometers. So that will take you a few hours. But if you move after Fajr, right after Fajr, inshallah you can reach Arafah before Zohor. You'll be there. But under the hot sun, then maybe not everybody can endure that. But there are many, even old people are walking, because what is that? Hajj is not, it's not a leisure thing. It's not a easy thing. So it's good to walk also, but depends on your fitness and whether you can endure. So this is the flow. The flow will be in Mecca on the 9th. You do your tawaf wada before leaving Mecca. Then you proceed to Mina. Mina, you pray Zohor, Asar, Jamak, then Maghrib, Isya, Jamak, then Fajr. Then after Fajr, you start to move to Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah is in between Mina and Arafah. So you just cross over. You don't have to do anything in Muzdalifah. But on the way back, then you collect stones in Muzdalifah to be thrown in the Jamrah. So you just cross over in Muzdalifah. Then you reach Arafah. Inshallah, if you move after Fajr, you will reach in Arafah before Zohor. But it doesn't matter whatever time you reach, you have to reach there before Maghrib. Then after Maghrib, people will move back to Mina. Then they will start throwing the Jamrah and all, and Mabit in Mina and all the other acts of Hajj continue from there. So Wukuf in Arafah, you have to be there. Like we have said, you just need to be there for a while, even 1 second. So you can even just touch. Just go there for a while and start moving back to Mina. But the sunnah is to stay until Maghrib. Once many will stay until Maghrib, then they will do a big mass Jama'ah prayer. Then they will move back to Mina. Okay, yeah. So that's the basic of the sunnah in Hajj. There are plenty sunnah during every arkan and every wajibat, especially the arkan, like what is that? Your ihram, sunnah for ihram, the sunnah ihram, like shaving your mustache and shortening your beard and plucking your armpit hair and pubic hair, clearing everything, then clip your nails, and then do a ghusl take a ghusl before ihram. Then white for men, white, wearing a white what is that? White cloth, which are new. Then to use perfume and wearing a slipper, wearing a sandal. These are all sunnah for your ihram. And many other ihram during your wukuf, many other sunnah during your wukuf. There are certain sunnah, and during your what is that? Tawaf, there are sunnah, especially in tawaf and sa'i, there are many sunnah. So all that, like I said, you have to go through a proper class for Hajj and Umrah. Then they will pinpoint every sunnah, then make you aware. And not all sunnah can be achieved actually. During the Hajj period especially, it will be like millions of people there. So it's not, when you read the theory like this is sunnah, it is sunnah, but then some are very tough to be achieved because of the crowd there. So Habib Salim once said, like kissing the black stone, that is sunnah. Hajar Aswad, that is sunnah, highly recommended. But then to kiss the black stone during Hajj, when millions of people are there at one time, it's gonna be like a battle. So you have to make your way through there. Like, it's gonna be really rough. So Habib Salim once said, you can try you can try to kiss the black stone if you have a chance, then do it. But then don't force it until you injure others, or what is that? Hurt others, because that is sunnah. But then not hurting others, or it's not hurting others is wajib. I mean, kissing the black stone is sunnah, but then hurting others or hurting their feelings because of some of your ex pushing and all this is haram. So Habib Salim said, prioritize your not hurting others. Inshallah, if your intention of getting the black stone, you already get some rewards. So that's it. Allah Alam. Next week, inshallah, we will continue on the matan, and there are quite a bit more on Hajj before we complete the Hajj chapter. Allahu Alam. اللهم الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا انفعنا بما علمتنا ربي علمنا الذي ينفعنا ربي فقهنا وفقه أهلنا وقرابة لنا في ديننا مع أهل القدر أنت وذكر ربي وفقنا وفقهم لما ترتضي قولا وفعلا كرما وارزق الكل حلالا دائما وأخلا أتقيا علما نحظى بالخير ونكفى كل شر ربنا أصلح لنا كل شؤون وأجر بالرضا منك العيون واقض عنا ربنا كل الديون قبل أن تأتينا رسل المنون واغفر واستر أنت أكرم من ستر وصلاة الله تغشى المصطفى من إلى الحق دعانا والوفاء بكتاب فيه للناس شفاء وعلى الآل الكرام الشرفاء وعلى الصحب مصابه القرار اللهم اهدنا بهداك واجعلنا ممن يسارع في رضاك ولا تولنا والجن سواك ولا تجعلنا ممن خالف أمرك وعصاك وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.